What's up, guys? It's your boy Zwolki back with Zwolki Crime Talk. And I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't think it was this bad when it came to Chris Watt's mother. But a lot of you guys have been sending, hundreds of you guys have been sending me pictures, videos about her book that she apparently came out, A Woman of Strength and Love. She's pretty much trying to make money off of her son murdering Shanann and her grandkids, which has a 2.1 rating out of 5 on Amazon. So just put that in perspective. But you guys have been wanting me to watch this raw footage of Chris Watts' mother, Cindy Watts, questioning the plea deal and pretty much being a complete narcissistic blank. And you guys want me to watch it. So with that being said, let's get into it. Before we go any further, what I would like you to do, if you guys could do me a solid favor, you guys have been killing it. We just hit 23K. We're on our way to 24K, and it's all because of you guys. But make sure you guys are subscribed by hitting that white bar icon down the bottom right. Hit the bell icon next to it, so when I do post videos like this one, you'll get that little ring notification that I've posted that video, and then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, thank you so very much for the love and support you guys continuously show. Keep doing what you guys are doing, and we'll get to that road to 100K one day. But with that being said, let's get into this. We have two videos here. One about the Chris Watts mother. She talks nonchalant. But then we have another possibility of what Chris... There's a Megan Kelly that's on YouTube. She states that why would Chris possibly his daughters after his wife? Everybody believes wholeheartedly that Nicole Kessinger took the lives of the daughters because Chris couldn't do it. He did his wife in, but he couldn't do his daughters. And who was else there? Nicole. So with that being said, let's take a look at these videos.
I wake up every morning just crying, thinking this is not going to be what's going to happen every single day. It's just so hard to get through it.
Just think what Shanann's mom feels.
I just don't know how to get through it.
Tell me about his childhood. Did he play sports? Was he in scouts? What kinds of things did
Yes,
did
he
do?
played sports. He played sports from the time he was 5 years old up until he was 17. And he was in basketball, he was in baseball, he was in football, and loved NASCAR. He and his dad went to the NASCAR races all the time. Loved sports, and he was a good kid. Had two best friends, and that's who he grew up with, and still are friends with them today.
Even in prison?
There's nothing that would have predicted any of this could have ever happened.
Yeah.
Nothing in his childhood at all. I would have never in a million years thought something like this could happen to him at all.
Happened
You
to
didn't see
him?
things like him getting into fights? Or...
No fighting. He was quiet, and he got along with people, and he didn't start anything, and he was a perfect teenager, tell you the truth. He did not even rebel. He wanted to go to NASCAR Tech. We made that possible for him.
What did he do after he finished school?
He worked at the dealership as a service technician and was making good money and loved it. He bought a toolbox, and he started buying his tools, and enjoyed it. He was doing well.
When and where did he meet Shanann?
They met, and he liked her, she liked him, but
She didn't like him.
it didn't,
Or like her.
I don't think that was love at first sight or anything. They took a little while and I guess got to know each other and, dated. It was always a little strange that she always said a lot of things about Chris in front of me that I didn't like. Like, this isn't the kind of person I would date. He doesn't know how to do this, or he doesn't know how to do that. He looks like a skater boy.
What's wrong with that?
Look at his hair. Look how much stuff he puts on his hair. It was just on and on and on, and I just got a bad feeling.
And they got married in 2012. Did they get married in North Carolina?
They did. Mm-hmm.
How was that?
Oh, we didn't attend.
Really?
Mm-mm. We didn't attend because Shanann and I just couldn't get along, and I didn't like the way she treated him.
What do you know about their marriage and their issues?
Oh, very little, very little. You can only observe. I could only observe what I saw when I was around them. Christopher always seemed anxious, and he when she needed something, I mean, he would run. He wouldn't walk, he would run, he would get it. He just always seemed to be right there at her beck and call.
Because that's what you do for your spouse. That's what I do for my spouse.
And that,
I'm
did
not
that
anxious.
seem odd to you? Or?
Very odd. It was very odd. He just seemed nervous.
So how much did you see them over these
Weird.
last 6 years?
Probably twice a year. We would go up there.
Did you stay with them, or?
Yeah, we would stay with them and stay a week and then come back home.
Tell me about Bella and Celeste.
Oh, Bella was just like Chris, just like him, shy, cautious, conservative. Cece was a ball of fire. I mean, she was fearless, completely
Nothing
fearless.
about Shanann.
She just loved to run. So they were wonderful. It breaks my heart to know that they're not here.
Because your
They
son.
were beautiful children.
Because of your
Beautiful
son.
children.
What did they call you?
Mimi,
Mimi? And how about Ronnie? What did they call?
Papa.
Do you think Chris loves Shanann?
Oh God, he loved her. Yes, I believe he loved her at first. I believe he did. But I think as the years went on, I think it just
Thought with his wrong head.
being in that kind of a relationship, which the social worker even said that marriage should have ended a long time ago.
Shanann's pregnancy, and what did Chris tell you about that? Was he excited?
No, I don't think he was. I think it was a shock to him. And he said that they have been talking about divorce, that they are not compatible anymore, and he was not happy anymore. And I finally thought, he's finally seen the light.
And I take it Chris had never been in trouble with the law?
Never. He's got one speeding ticket and didn't even know about that.
Tell me what happened when they were reported missing. What did you find out? How did you find out? Who told you?
I think Ronnie called me. Ronnie called me and said that they're missing, and I thought, I don't believe it. I didn't believe they were missing. I believed that she was going to punish Chris. She was just going to punish him, take the girls, and just punish him. I had no idea of anything else. Christopher called and said, Mom, they're searching the house. I said, okay, that's fine. I mean, and I still was not worried. I was not worried. I just
She
thought
didn't care
Shanann
about
had
Shanann.
run off with girls.
So
But again, why would a woman run off when she's posting on Facebook that her man is her rock, her man is her boulder, this man is amazing, I wouldn't do anything without this man. I mean, there is two different sides, obviously, two different facades, but you never saw Chris do it. I mean, there's different people that do social media, and there's people that don't do social media, but wouldn't you want to, like, if you love somebody, wouldn't you like want to say it from the mountains? Wouldn't you want to just? I mean, I love my fiance, technically my wife, um, and I love boasting about her whenever chance I get, even on live videos that I do on Sundays. I'm like, oh, there's Mrs. Z. I love this woman. I kiss her, and I'm not afraid about it. And he just seemed like he was afraid to show any love and affection. But Shanann was just boisting, is that a word? Or boisterous about her husband, and just he's the rock. He does everything. He's loving. Me and my fiance, we pick on each other. I mean, if you I feel like if you don't pick on each other, you don't have that love and connection. I mean, there's a certain level of picking on each other that you don't cross, but just to be funny with each other, it just doesn't sound right what her mother does, or what Chris Watt's mom is saying. So let's continue.
Walk me through the sequence of events over the next few days. Did you and your husband travel to Colorado?
Ronnie did.
Okay.
Ronnie did. And I mean, Christopher let everybody come in. Her phone is there. Her purse is there.
Because he left
Everything
it
is
there.
But there's no kids and there's no Shanann. And I was not worried. You know, I thought
She didn't care about
has
Shanann.
just gone off and I'm going to punish you for this and you can worry about me. But when Christopher called us and he said, I said, do you want us to come down now? He said, tell Dad I need him. Tell Dad I need him to come down. I said, what about me? He said, no, Mom, just stay. Just send Dad.
Because he knew.
And he picked him up at the airport and they drove to the police station. And Chris still didn't say anything to him. Nothing.
Why would he?
He had already been interrogated 7 hours prior to that. He had already let the police go into his home, search everything. He was going in for another interrogation. The next thing, after 5 hours, they called Ronnie and said that your son wants to talk to you before he tells us anything. And that's when Christopher broke down and cried and said, I'm sorry, Dad. He said, I went into a rage and I killed her after she killed Cece and Bella. And he found out where he is and then they wouldn't let him see him. He couldn't see him. And so he was going back to the airport when his public defender called him and told him to come back. And that's when Ronnie met his public defender. And so talked to her for a while. And they kept in touch with us and let us know what's going on.
And then what was the next update that you got? Was it?
The next update I got was Ronnie called Jamie and told them they found their bodies. And they rushed over here. Nobody told me anything until they walked through the door. And they told me what happened, and I just fell to the floor. I just fell to the floor.
Not for Shanann.
It was unbelievable. And it's been unbelievable ever since. And
what did his attorneys tell you about contact?
She has weird
with him,
mannerisms.
Starting with his
None.
arrest?
No contact. Everything is recorded. No contact. No letter writing. I didn't see the harm in the letters. You know, hi son, love you, keep fighting. We are here to support you.
Fighting for what? He murdered his family. He annihilated them. I understand that you have I don't know what I would do if I ever knew that my son did this kind of thing. I mean, you never stop loving your kid, but I don't know. Like, she's like, keep fighting. You got this. Got what? He murdered and annihilated his family. You could just like literally talk to him and be like, I love you. I do miss you. I don't know where to go. I mean, you're supposed to forgive. You're supposed to, but is murder forgivable? If I knew that my child murdered his family, I honestly don't know what I would do, to be honest. I hope that never comes to it. I'm going to raise my son to make sure that he knows that murder is never acceptable. He knows that you never, ever. I mean, yeah, Chris was a great kid. Fantastic. Okay, whatever. But there's a certain line also you got to talk to your kids when it comes to murdering and I just this woman is starting to piss me off.
What is wrong with that? What can the DA do about letters like this? Why couldn't we just write him a letter?
Because he took his family's life.
We did what we were told to do. When they called us to tell us that Chris was thinking of a plea, that he wanted to speak to us about it. And when we got down there, it was a lie. They wouldn't let us talk to him about anything. And then we had to talk to him through a screen and a phone. And he just looked, he was crying. I mean, he wasn't crying. You could see the movement in his mouth that when I talked about Bella and I talked about Cece and the memorial service that we had for them. And he asked what pictures did we use, and what was the song. You can see how he was trying to hold back tears.
He did it!
What day was that? Do you remember?
Well, we flew in on that Monday. We flew in on Monday, and we saw him Monday night, and then the plea deal was on Tuesday.
So Monday night was when you wanted to talk to him about
Yes, and we weren't allowed. And it would have helped us so much to be able to talk to him. I wouldn't have to go through all this now. Everything just seems to be shrouded in secrecy. And just tell us what is going on. Let us ask Chris if it's okay if you talk to us. I just don't like the way it was handled from the very beginning. I don't like the way it was handled. I want to save your life, that's all. We're just here, we're going to save his life. We want him to get life in prison. It was like they already knew he was guilty. And
he is guilty.
The end of it.
Were you worried about the death penalty being a possibility?
No, I didn't care about the death penalty. Nobody's going to die in Colorado. I don't think anyone has. One person? And Colorado is changing. So people stay on death row forever. There was no, I think he'd be safer on death row. And her parents said they didn't want any more death. So I don't see how the death penalty could have mattered. All I want is the truth. I just want the truth.
I bet Shanann wants Shannon's parents want her kids back and her grandkids back.
And I know Chris, he would take responsibility. And I guess maybe he is. I don't know.
Maybe he is?
I just can't see him doing that.
What do you...
Okay, so Chris's mom, you're weird, okay? I can't, again, disclaimer, these are my opinions, my theories, can't be used in anything, just throwing that out there. I love that she thinks that he's innocent. He took his wife. We possibly think he took his kids. I still think Nicole had something to do with it. If not, apparently this Jim that we finally know about. But he took the plans in motion because he wanted to start a new life with Nicole and wanted to take away Shanann for some stupid reason. Because he snapped and couldn't control his anger because he was so pissed when there was other alternatives than what he did. And she thinks her kid is innocent.
You think the truth is about how Shanann and Bella and Celeste died?
Oh, God, I don't know anymore, honestly. I don't know his frame of mind, and I don't know his frame of mind. Because why Would you plead guilty to something you didn't do?
Because he didn't want to
And
die
that's
on death
all I
row.
want to know. Why would you plead guilty if you didn't do it?
And he's
If you
protecting
told your
Nicole.
dad you didn't do it? And that's what I want to know. And they said, well, you'll find all that out. Christopher will talk to you when and after he's sentenced. Well, isn't that too late then? I mean, isn't it too late? What if he tells me, no, I didn't do it? I just took this plea deal because they told me I was going to go to jail anyways. I just want the truth. All of us just want the truth. That's all. But I would like to know what triggered it. How can a normal young man, and he's normal, he was normal, but he wasn't evaluated when he came into the system. He wasn't normal if he did this.
It must be bewildering.
It's bewildering to me. It is absolutely. How does this happen? How did this happen? And I go back in my mind thinking,
Because he was thinking with
was there
this
something
head.
I didn't pick up with on Chris? But I can't think of anything except he was quiet.
It sounds like in your own mind, you're unsure as to what happened.
Yes.
Have you reconciled the idea that he could have done all of this?
Yes. And that scares me to death. It scares me to death to think that he could have done all of this.
He could? He did!
And I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there right now.
She's in denial.
But I don't see why he's pleading guilty. I wouldn't. I'd fight. I'd fight to the end. But then you ask yourself, would a normal person dispose of the bodies the way you did?
The bodies were your grandkids.
I would have called 911 if it happened like that.
What would you say to Chris right now if he were sitting here?
If we were by ourselves,
Yeah.
I would say, Christopher, I need to know what happened that night. I need to know what happened. I've got to get these thoughts out of my head. What I think could have happened, but
We're
I need
still
to
wondering
know.
ourselves.
And I think in time he will tell me.
Probably nothing you ever would have imagined you would have faced.
Never. Never. No, and not from the son that I raised and Ronnie raised and our children. You know, we just did everything for them. We worked for them. We wanted them to have a good life, good education, and we stressed education. And they were both doing well. I thought, you know, I knew marriages can be bad, but you can get out of them and go on.
Yeah, not the way your son did it.
But I don't know what was going through anybody's mind that night. I mean, I feel too much. I mean, I definitely feel everything way too much and have a conscience that
Why is it about her?
I just feel way too much.
What do you want to happen now? What would you hope would happen now?
Well, I want Chris to have his day in court. I mean, I need to know. I mean, I'd feel wonderful if I could talk to him and he could tell me what happened. And then we can all go on. But if he didn't do it, if he did not do this, then I need somebody to defend him. I need someone to defend him if he did not do this. Do they have the evidence?
Yes.
He's my son. I got to do everything.
But then they
I've
stopped
got to do everything I
after
can
him,
to help
and then look
to
at
make
Nicole.
sure that he is defended properly. But he said this is his decision, so I don't know.
His decision. Yeah.
There's doubt. I have doubt that he did it. I can't see that he did it. I just cannot see him doing that as much as he loved his girls. How do you do that?
Yeah. Nicole
just
did the
don't see it.
girls.
I just can't see him doing it. I just wanted to make sure
She
that he
sees
has,
her little baby.
I just wanted a defense. I wanted him to be defended.
And you haven't had any discussions with his attorneys about this?
No. I asked them, do you know what happened? They said, no,
Bowl.
we don't. Only person that knows what happened is Chris. Well, then he's told you his story, you know, in the affidavit. They said they would defend him if he wanted to go forward, but he said he didn't want to go forward.
Because he doesn't
And
want
the bottom
Nicole
line
getting in
is you would have
trouble.
liked to have been part of that discussion with
I
him
would
before he
have.
made that decision.
That's what I thought we were going down there for. At least let us talk to him. Let us talk to him. It would have made all the difference in the world if they would have just let us talk to him. If he was going to do this, what difference does it make who's listening?
I don't think it would have made a difference.
But he has our love. He has our unconditional love. I will never abandon my son. He did a horrible, horrible, if that comes to pass that he did this, then I still love him. He's my son. And I will always love him. And a lot of people don't understand that. And I don't understand that, why they don't.
Well, could you talk a little bit about some things we talked about yesterday? You said, you know, I think your exact words were, he's not the psychopath next door.
He isn't. He's not the sociopath next door. He's not the psychopath. He didn't kill little small animals. He didn't do any of these things.
I don't think that
He was
matters.
a good child. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything that was abnormal about him, except he was socially awkward. You know, he had trouble socializing, but so did I when I was younger. I think you learn that as you grow, and I think he felt a little bit more comfortable in his skin, and he just I don't think he just had the right person at his side.
He did it to himself.
That relationship was toxic from the very beginning.
What would you say to Shanann's family if you could talk to them?
God, I'm so sorry this happened. You know, for both our families, because we both lost everything.
Both? Oh
You
my
know,
gosh.
They lost a daughter, we lost our son. We lost our grandchildren. We all lost. Everybody
They lost
did.
highly more. And this is the same people that try to go after the insurance money when I feel, my understanding is what I feel like it should happen is it should go to the complete Watts family. It should nothing go to, or not the Watts family, the Shanann's family. The Watts family, Chris' parents, should not get it. Never even see a dime. The Shanann's family had to bury them. I've even been told that apparently Chris has their pictures inside his room. Why would you want to have pictures of the people that you murdered when you could have seen them in person, but you... I can't.
You'll never get it back. And they were precious. They were so, so precious.
That woman's a bat crazy woman. So we're going to look into this video about the possibility of Chris not taking his daughter's lives. I still think he didn't. I still think it was somebody else, aka NK, but let's watch it and see what she has to say.
The question about the daughters is, of course, why? You know, like, we understand sort of why the wife, you know, yes, divorce, but spouses kill their other spouse sometimes. Why the daughters?
NK.
The only one that's really going to know that is Chris. And wouldn't you love to have the opportunity to ask him, and with the hope that he would be candid and truthful with you? So the only thing that we say in cases like this is we have to look at the behavior. These little girls were not a threat to him. These little girls were not going to be dangerous, but he killed them anyway. And he killed them by looking in their eyes and smothering them. And then that's not even enough. Then he takes them into these oil containers and then drops them in. He basically wants to destroy them as though they never existed. So think about that. He wanted them as though they never existed. That tells me, if I were talking to him, Chris, you never wanted to be a dad. You never wanted those responsibilities. You didn't want a life like the one that you had. And is it true that you felt once you could get rid of every memory of those girls and who they were, you could get back some control of a life that you wanted? That may be the approach I would take with them, because he was trying to destroy them physically, take their life away, and that's the way to do it. That's what he did.
Yeah, that's interesting. So the way in which he discarded the daughters' bodies, which is one of the most gruesome parts of the story, dropping them in these neighboring oil tanks, talking
Yeah.
about how he could hear the splash when the bodies hit, and that told him how much oil was in each tank. Not even together, and not even in the same tank. Shoved them through this little hole. I mean, she's shoving his dead daughters. It just
Pisses you
shows
off.
you, yeah, the level of callousness. This is not I snapped. I found out my wife was having an affair and I shot her. Not excusing that, obviously. This is just a whole nother level of evil and anger. And you're saying, same as we interviewed another great expert who is also saying he doesn't look like a psychopath. And that's what's most terrifying. So it's hatred, it's loathing of the life that you're in, and we may not have a bunch of red flags other than maybe he doesn't express his anger.
Oh, we got a lot of red flags.
Maybe he's got controlling behaviors, possibly domestic violence that you may or may not know about. God, that's not much to go on.
No, not as observers from the inside, outside looking in, but if Shanann were here with us today, we'd certainly want to ask her questions about some of that behavior that kind of evolved over the years that they were married. It seems pretty clear to me that he saw Shanann as the enemy. She was the cause for his being miserable. She was the cause for his feeling trapped.
Because he apparently also said if it wasn't for NK, he would have never destroyed his family. It's NK's fault and his fault, but NK is involved.
She was the cause for how he viewed life. Is it true? Well, of course not. I mean, he's an adult male, but the way he viewed it is I think that component, had to be there. And those children were anchors around his neck. In order to move forward, he had to start over again. I remember I had cases where the spouse would take the other spouse up to a mountainside, and then they would push the spouse over, and those were really hard cases to really investigate. But as you begin to unravel that, and it was different from this, but still some of the components are the same. As you begin to unravel it, you see the same kind of emotional changing. They started to live their life over again. They started a new life. They no longer were married to this person. They no longer were in a relationship. So mentally, they checked out months before they murdered their spouse. And so the murder was almost anticlimactic because they needed to get rid of the person that made their life miserable. They needed to be gone, completely, absolutely gone, not divorced, not live in another city. They needed to be gone.
Erased, right? So he winds up pleading guilty. Of course, they had him, and that spared his life. He was given 5 life sentences. And even the judge, Marcelo Kopkow, was absolutely horrified by the circumstances of this case. I mean, I know a lot of judges, been in front of a lot of judges over the course of my life. It's very rare that they offer this strong a personal opinion on a case. But here's just a little bit of the judge during the sentencing hearing, November 19th, 2018.
I've been a judicial officer now for starting my 17th year, and I could objectively say that this is perhaps the most inhumane and vicious crime that I have handled out of the thousands of cases that I have seen. And nothing less than a maximum sentence would be appropriate, and anything less than the maximum sentence would depreciate the seriousness of this offense.
You know, usually we have the death penalty in part because we want to deter. You know, we want to punish, but we also want to deter
We
other
should.
criminals. Does this sentence fit the crime, and do you
Yes.
think it effectively deters the next Chris Watts?
Yes, it should.
In my opinion, it fits the crime. Do I think it will deter someone else from doing this again? No,
Hopefully.
I don't. I don't see that happening. But in a case like this, I always think about that when a person gets a sentence like this, sitting in prison, you're a young man still, you are in prison for the rest of your life. You're never going anywhere. I mean, that is a profoundly negative, profoundly impactful.
But he gets love letters. He gets other women that see his profile and want to talk to him. They want to marry him. They want to have his baby while he's in prison. The man should be rotting in a hole like he took the lives of his innocent family. I'm sorry. I'm pro death penalty. Should it be relying on us to take that person's life? No. But I think it's so ridiculous that we have so many murders sitting in prison, wreaking resources. They're wreaking free health care. They're eating food. They're in going to the gym, or they're working out on the yard. They're in their cells, hanging out with their cellmate. They should not see the light of day. They should be thrown in a hole because they are the ones that caused the death. They are the ones that decided to do this. If we show people by death penalty that it is unacceptable, they're going to get... Will it completely take away? No. But it's definitely going to deter a lot of more possible Chris Watts, because they me. I got a divorce for my ex-wife being what's it called? Infidelity. I didn't murder my family. I divorced my family to start anew. I got my son. Why would I take my son out of it? I just don't understand why this was okay. Why Chris Watts is in prison, reaping the benefits and enjoying his life, talking to other people, and it doesn't make sense. This crime fits death penalty. He should be on death penalty. He should be on death row. He should be already gone by now. It's been, 5-6 years since this took place? He's had 5 to 6 more years than Shanann and the girls. The girls should be in high school now. High school to middle school. What the flip?
Impactful sentence, and certainly the judge thought it was consistent with the incredible damage that he did. But will somebody else stop and think about Chris Watts? If the right set of circumstances exists for them tomorrow, will they think about Chris Watts and say to themselves, I better not do this? And I would say to you, I don't think so.
Junk science. That's what the doctor called many of those fruit and vegetable supplements on the market.
The more and more I get into this case about every aspect, the mother, you guys want me to look into Shanann mother about her experience after the death of her daughter and her grandchild, that she came to her. You guys might want me to watch about that. You want me to get into the whole Jim and Nicole and Chris. It's just, this is like a Pandora's box of this case, and I don't think we're ever going to find the hole or the bottom. It just continuously keeps going down. So with that being said, comment down below what you guys think when it comes to Chris Watts' mother. Again, I'm looking at her book called Cindy Watts, A Woman of Strength and Love, a true crime case opinion essay from Shanann Watts. It has a 2.1 rating. Yeah, I'm not even gonna, I was gonna possibly look into it and just see what she wrote. But I'm not giving her the benefit of the doubt of buying or paying for $5 when this woman is crazy. She cared about her granddaughters. Great, fantastic. But guess who birthed those granddaughters? Shanann. Could Shanann have had problems too? No one's perfect, okay? I'm not perfect. Shay's not perfect. The next door neighbor is not perfect. It's still not a reason to commit murder. It's still not a reason to take away a life. Yeah, he probably got pissed because she probably said, well, I'm going to take the kids and I'm going to go away. Okay, but you have to pay child support. You decided to have 2 little girls because you played hokey pokey. You know exactly what you're all about. So I just don't understand. You do the crime, you do the time. You do the business, you take care of that business. Okay? If I would have never thought about taking my kid away from this world because I wanted to bring him into life. So I need to take care of him. I just don't get why these murderers think they could just commit murder when it should never even be thought about. And then for his mother being like, yeah, I think he's innocent. Who else would have taken the wife out? Nicole didn't do all of it. I still think she was involved. There's people that think that Nicole took out the whole family and Chris just covered it up. I don't know about that one, but I honestly think Shanann could have taken on Nicole. Just saying. But then we got Chris that took on, I don't know. Again, this case just keeps opening Pandora's box and Pandora's box and Pandora's box. So comment down below what you guys think about Cindy Watts, his mother. I think she's bat-ass crazy. Great, she loves her kid, but he did a horrific crime. So, okay. Also comment down below if you think somebody else took the lives of the girls. If you think it was somebody else, I still think to this day he didn't do his girls. I still think somebody had help, or he had help, and it was Nicole. But that is for you guys to let me know in the comments. Hit the like button for justice for the girls, because hopefully one day we will find out that possibly this case has been reopened and they're looking into more evidence that they've received, more possible technology that they can find out, or vice versa, and we can finally get the mistress put away. And then don't forget to subscribe for more content when it comes to Zwolki Crime Talk, and we will see you guys in the next video. So keep it real, keep it safe, and as always, keep nerding on, and we'll see you guys next time.